We're talking about Bob Carroll. We're talking about short for Robert Bobcast. Oh, Bob Carroll. There's a little more of a seal sound there than I intended it to be.
It was a little seal. I felt a little bit like I've been kissed by a rose.
I've always thought.
Baby! Yeah. This one, it's welcome to Two Chunks. That song goes
I love
unnecessarily
That's a great song,
hard.
dude.
Dude, I saw that in theaters. That was oof.
Just the
Man.
music video, or like the whole movie?
What happened to good like credit songs? I don't know.
For
man.
real.
Maybe they're just gone, dude.
Dude,
Come back.
They shouldn't be. They should come back.
They're
It's
just
Two
gone.
Chunks. And it's for this guy, Jordan.
I'm Doge. Summer's almost here. Today's punchline is they drop their trunks.
What do elephants do before they get in the pool?
Yeah.
Before they skinny dip. Pardon.
Jordan,
I mean, that was going to be essentially my answer.
why did the elephants get kicked out of the pool party? They dropped their trunks.
Yeah.
The
Summer's
pool
almost
party.
here.
Out of the poop party. That was a bummer.
It is, we just discussed that it feels like 6 degrees outside.
Summer's almost here. It's warming up. Things are turning green again. Life has found a way. Summer's almost here.
Summer's almost here. I'm Carter, and I don't know, man. You ever have those days?
Wow.
I just don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I try not to have them on recording days, but yeah, I have them.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I
Well,
try
I was
to
like,
make sure I know if
Am
the,
I just
if the
do I
recording's
just
going.
continue making a name for myself? Is that what I am? Is that what I am to this
That's a
podcast?
personal decision. I assumed it was more like a resolution or something.
I'm Carter, and I'm Dr. Carter. How about that
Yeah,
today?
sure.
Yeah.
We're showing the boys beforehand the bound, printed, copyrighted copy of my dissertation. It's hard not to talk
Dr.
about it. And not get
Dr.
British.
Author John Carter Willis of Mars.
Dr.
And I
Arthur-
think it's
Dr. Arthur
cool.
John Carter Wilson was.
Since we're talking about it, I'll go ahead and say that I think it's very cool that you went for the sort of foil embossed penis on the front. I think that is
Yeah.
a bold decision
Yeah.
that a lot of people
Yeah.
wouldn't have chosen.
That's what I call a PhD.
I mean,
A pretty huge dingus.
Penis having dude.
essentially, yeah. I was going to say a joke. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. Hey, as we've already established, summer's almost here. A lot of people have been saying that so far this episode. It seems to be kind of the general consensus around Camp Two Chunks.
Not-
Summer is almost here. It's warming up. I'm ready to go outside, take my shirt off, let this torso
my
be
shirt off.
exposed to that
Breathe.
warm summer air.
Good time to take my shirt off.
And I don't know about you guys, but on a time like this time of the year,
On a
with summer's
time
coming
like
up,
this.
on a time like this, when summer's coming up, definitively, factually, when summer's coming up, I'm like, what am I going to do in summer since summer's coming up? Since summer's almost here, what am I going to do in summer? Thankfully, our friends at thetop10s.com have prepared us a list of the top 10 activities to do in the summer. This was created by user Pony. I think it's Pony, and it's a picture of the fox from Zootopia.
My pony.
Pony has provided us with a list of, hey guys, 25 things to do in the summer. I want you guys to take turns guessing, okay?
We're only counting
Each-
the top 10 though, eh?
I'm going to give you all 25. You get 3 strikes.
This list must be borked beyond belief if he's giving us 25 chances.
We do this together? I can't remember.
Nope, it's a competition.
Go
You
to
each
the
get 3 strikes.
go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
My favorite thing about these is that it's news to Doge too.
No,
Yeah.
it's not news. I'm trying to count because go to the beach is on here twice. Day on the beach. I'm from New Jersey, and I
Who
think
are
you need to
they?
go at the right time. If you otherwise,
Oh,
New
day on
Jersey
the beach.
boardwalk suck. Day on the beach, and also have a beach party. Great, good food and music. Be barefoot.
Good feud.
Go to the beach is here twice.
Wow. What can you do, Jordan?
Jordan, what do you think? Since summer's coming up, what do you think we should do in the summer?
Swim.
You know what's crazy? Number 1 is go in a pool?
We counting it.
I'll count that.
Of course we are.
Guys, I think this is, especially if it is a pool of thick, gooey, sticky slime, exclamation point.
The hell?
I think this might be from a yucky one. This list might be from a yucky one.
Is this a pervert? Did a pervert make this list?
This list might be from a yucky one. Carter, summer's coming up. What do I do?
Summer's coming up.
Think like a pervert. Make sure you think like a
yucky
nasty
one, dude.
pervert.
I guess it's summer then. Real big.
Put the lotion on its skin, probably.
I would make a skin suit. No, if it's
Carter, summer's coming up.
go
What
on
do
vacation.
I do?
Duh.
Go on a vacation is number 4. Great job.
No one knows summer like these boys.
That's
I
true.
love summer. The boys of summer.
My favorite part of the year is when I sweat.
Jordan, what do I do? Summer's coming up.
Yeah, you know it.
Ice cream.
Yes, dude. We all
Ice
scream,
cream?
bro.
Huh. Let me see. I want to try to fit this into this list.
You're just gonna give it to him if it's not there. Is that what you're saying?
None of the 25 things could feasibly be misconstrued as have ice cream. Strike one.
Well, that's silly.
Beach
Ice
That's
cream?
silly.
Ice cream? I'll never do that in the summer. Are you kidding me? Summer's coming up. What should I do? Ice cream? No way.
Man, summer's coming up. Time to work on that tan, dude. Get tan, sunbathe.
You've made a grave error, Carter. Nobody making this
Ever
list
been
has
outside?
ever
Probably, huh?
been
Yeah.
outside before.
There's a section of this page called The Newcomers.
How is it spelled?
These are entries on this list that I assume have been recently added. And the first entry in the newcomers section is sunbathing. Carter,
That
great
counts?
job.
Is the
This boy
newcomer
knows
section
summer.
part of the
Wait,
25?
is that in?
The newcomer section would be 26 and
Well, what
27.
are we doing?
So
This
What
is
is happening
That's a
right
strike.
now?
We'll strike you.
Strike me there.
We'll strike you.
What is happening right now? I like how every game Doge has, no matter how many times we've played it, is being formed in real time.
Let me tell you a secret. Can you hear me okay? I'm trying to get real close to you. Let me
I
tell
can
you a secret.
hear you. You're in my
This
medulla
is-
oblongata right
This
now.
is not a competition show. It's an entertainment show. I'm
Nah,
trying
life's
to
a
make the
competition,
most
dude.
entertaining
Life's a
game.
competition.
There's nothing more entertaining than nothing making sense and everybody
Summer's
doing
coming
stuff.
up. Jordan, summer's coming up. What do I do?
Hang with friends.
Number 9, verbatim, hang with friends.
Yes,
This is so
Nice.
funny, dude. So it's not just a
Nice.
summer thing.
No, that's summer. You hang with friends in the summer.
Can I
This
say-
is
I'm
summer
gonna
hang
say-
with friends.
Play outside. I'm just casting the widest. It's so heavy, this net, dude. I can hardly cast it by myself.
Nah, that's
No,
going to be a strike.
what
That's
you
going to be a strike.
talking
2
about?
strikes for Carter. Play outside in the summer? No.
Show me camping.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Which means
It's probably not there.
Okay.
Doge is like,
God.
it says go to the movies, so that's
Sure,
basically
so,
camping.
okay.
It's also number 30 on the list. I'll give it to you.
How generous would you like me to be?
As generous as you were any other time we played this game, which is seemingly at random.
Camping is number 27.
then I don't
No.
get a strike too.
2 strike.
Strike. The newcomers no
Is
more.
it a newcomer?
You know, we're just a couple newcomers out here. Tanning and camping.
What do you mean? How generous would you like me to be? If it's not 25, if it's not in the 25, which is already an insanely large amount of options you've given us, why would I want the point?
If it's an insanely large amount of options, why do you both have 2 strikes? Why is it so hard for you to tell me what to do when summer's coming up?
That's a good point, dude.
You have so many options to choose from. You should have
That
perfect.
hurts.
You should
that
have
hurts,
perfect.
but it's a good point.
Summer's coming up, Carter. What do I do?
Summer's coming up, and it's time to take a road trip.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, Carter's down. I'm gonna need some death saving rolls from Carter.
I thought that was only his second strike.
That's a third strike for Carter.
Hmm.
Third strike for Carter. Jordan, if you strike out here, I'm gonna give you each one redemption round.
VBS.
Hey, not this one. This is a nasty one.
Yeah,
not this
is
one.
this one's for perverts. Water park.
Water park is so good.
Water park is a good.
Shorty got that water slide. Oh, water slide.
God, this one's hard. Have a water fight is number 13 and number 18. Visit an amusement park is number 12.
So you're asking me if I'm okay if you Frankenstein 3 different things together?
No, I'm saying is a water park an amusement park?
I mean,
Which-
yes,
how would you define-
yes,
Okay.
but it doesn't feel quite as specific. If somebody said I'm going to an amusement park, I would think roller coaster, not water.
Okay.
But a water
strike.
park
That's
is technically an amusement park.
So what do you think? Third strike, huh?
Depending on how good of a time you're having,
Water
I guess
fight,
any
dude.
park could be an amusement park.
Water fight is on this list twice. That's a third strike. I want to read you guys these lists, okay? You
What
both
about our
struck
death
out.
saving rolls? You keep advertising things that aren't happening.
I told you if you got this right, or if you struck out here, you guys would each have a redemption round.
I did
Those are
strike out here.
Okay, yeah, get a redemption round then. Carter, summer's coming
Go
up.
to
What
the
do I
movies,
do?
We've said it before. Go to the movies.
Uh-huh. Go to the movies. Go to the movies.
Time for the movies, dude.
Go to the
Time
movies.
for the movies.
So go to the movies. So movies? So go to the movies? Movie going. Movie going is number 3.
It's just
That's
called
just
movie
regular
going?
time.
Movie going, one word. I love that.
That's just for
I like it.
regular time.
Summer's coming up, Jordan. What do I do?
Find it.
I know you know the answer.
Sleepover.
Sleepover.
That's the time when you don't have
Sleepover.
school.
Yeah, that's gonna be a strike.
That's fine.
Sleepover. Carter is the winner of our list.
That's
today.
fine
Carter,
because there were so many times that I almost arbitrarily just got not a strike. So I'll take
Carter is the boy of summer.
Boy.
Top 10 activities to do in the summer. Number 1, go in a pool. Number 2, summer camp. Number 3, movie going. Number 4, go on a vacation. Number 5, knitting. Number 6, bowling. Number 7, day on the beach. Number 8, swatting at flies. Number 9, hang with friends.
They're not wrong.
Number 10, playing video games. Number 11, have a beach party. 12, visit an amusement park. 13, have a water fight. Or even a mud fight, getting dirty, muddy, and slimed.
Yeah, dude, this is a pervert.
14,
This is a
playing
pervert.
Monopoly. 15, going
What
on the
is
top
happening?
10s. 16, wrestling.
Wait, what was
Monopoly
14?
Land.
Wait, hit me. Oh, wait, sorry. What was 15? Hit me with 15 again then.
15, going on the top 10s.
What does that
I-
mean?
This is the website, the top 10s.
Oh,
Going on here is
self-serving.
something fun to do in the summer. Number 16, wrestling. Number 17, get active. 18, pool time. 19, picnic in a park. 20, scavenger hunt. 21, make s'mores. 22, sell lemonade. 23, go on a hike. 24, make a song or a funny dance. 25, it's August. Shop for back to school. Summer's over.
Oh. I love that list.
It's certainly for a pervert. We know this.
It's gotta be a nasty one. Under day on the beach, the comment is, me and mommy are going sooner or later. Mommies are very sweet.
Yeah, the use of mommy is a
It's
pervert.
also could be an 8-year-old.
It's gotta be.
This is a person with a
Yeah.
Well, okay, this could work either way because this is either an 8-year-old or a full-grown adult man wearing a leash. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Getting rid of old things is 29. That's a good thing to do in the summer. I like that.
Well, I'll make sure your grandma knows. How about that? I'll make sure your grandma knows you want to get rid of old things. How about that? Wow. How about that?
Carter,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're going to start tracking these wins throughout the year. You have won one single top 10.
This is a promise
Hey, man.
Doge has made for these top 10 lists like 5 times. It's like, we got to start remembering these. We really ought to start writing these down at the end. Cut to 6 months from now when Doge is like, I found a perfect list about summer because it's summertime. We've never done it before. It's the same list. Y'all remember if we get a perverted summer list this summer, don't forget it. Don't forget it. Let's leave the world of arbitrary ridiculousness behind and go to something a little more concrete, a little more objective. Let's step into the world. Do you hear that bass riff? Do you hear that bass riff? Do you hear those rings popping? It's time for Tim Allen Presents Wild Hogs. Oh, Carter, since you won, I would like for you to give us the first hog name.
Woo!
If you don't mind.
Robert.
Robert. This one's Robert.
Robert the Hog.
Dude, Google just knows at this point. If I'm typing a name, it's like, you mean the hedgehog, of course.
Do you mean the hedgehog? Surely you mean the hedgehog.
Wait a minute.
More like Hobbit the
Dude.
Redrog.
Classic Doge. That's
Thanks,
fun.
guys. Wow. I'm going to give myself a win on my scoreboard document for that one.
Now, what are you? Help me understand you. Because this art is
What?
wonderful.
Are you?
Oh, this is a real character. I won't do that then. There is a Robin Hood styled Sonic
Whoa.
character
That's cool.
called Rob O' the Hedge.
That's funny.
Rob of the Hedge to you.
I'm sending this to you because this art is awesome.
Yeah,
And I was
Rob O' the
very excited to choose this character because I thought that this was straight up the best OC we've ever seen.
Mm.
But it turns out, just look at the art. You don't even have to click the link, but just look at the art.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty sick.
How sick is that?
That's really
That's
fun.
pretty sick. Rob of the Hedge
Great
is
shoes.
really
I love
sick.
the shoes. I want them.
Yeah.
Shoes are little hiking
Yeah.
boots kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Very practical.
Summer's coming up for Rob of the Hedge. Rob of the Hedge going to go on one of those summer
Very
hikes.
practical.
Rob, what are the top 10 things you like to do in the summer? Point arrow.
Point arrow,
Have
shoot
quiver,
arrow.
Water fight.
I would argue that's not a quiver. I would argue that's a map tube on his back.
The Declaration of Independence is in there for sure.
Also, can we discuss how high his ass is and how short his torso is?
Yeah.
That's kind of how Sonic does.
Not quite that high, but yeah, I agree.
For
Okay.
the purposes of this, I would also accept a Bob or a Bert the Hedgehog if you can't find a good Robert.
No, there's a lot
I'll
of
say
the
no
problem
to
here
Bert.
is choosing the Robert. Yeah. The problem here
Oh,
is
interesting.
honestly
Since
choosing the Robert.
since it's
There's
mine,
a lot of
you can do whatever you want with yours, Doge.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to ask for Bert the Hedgehog whenever I get this right.
Okay, I'm
Robert,
going with
Bob,
this
and
one
Bert.
because I really like the
Bob the Hedgehog.
the oeuvre.
I'm
of
fine
this
if it's a Robert
particular
H.
hog.
But
Nope, this one's just a clean
Robert H.
got one clean take on Robert the
Wait,
Hedgehog.
send it to me?
Here's
Send
what
it
I'll
to
give
me?
you. I'll give you
And
some
I'll
of the
guess.
information.
that is good.
Yeah, show me the picture and then I'll guess.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I don't normally do this, but I will give you the information that this person has provided to me on DeviantArt. Robert
Yeah.
is in another universe. I'm sorry, is in a other universe.
Other.
Name,
Oh, yeah.
Robert the Hedgehog. Gender, male. Age, 21. Species, hedgehog. Personality, 3 question marks.
Personality?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Personality?
Personality?
So, gentlemen, please begin. Give me some information about Robert the Hedgehog.
blue. He's blue. Fur blue.
Eye patch.
Ooh. Jeans.
Frown.
Backpack.
Ball cap. Backwards.
Got it.
Black shirt or vest or jacket.
Okay.
Black top. But not
Trying
like
to hit the
not
black
like
top, you
not
know.
like asphalt. Yeah.
Backpack.
So now we zeroed out backpack. Hands balled into fists at his side as if to communicate aggression and frustration with the status quo.
Okay.
Kind of like this.
Oh, I thought it was
Kinda like
more like
this.
that Arthur meme.
Yeah, They're touching together.
Yeah, it's
Kinda like
good.
that.
No, like the Arthur meme. He's got Arthur
All right.
Fist for sure, but
Okay.
it's big white glove Arthur Fist.
Sure, of course.
Just another win for Big White Glove.
All these Sonic guys should be RAs in dorm. They already got the glove for it.
Mm,
You got white gloves because what are you, an RA?
Got his ass, dude.
damn.
What are you? Wow, you must have some white gloves, Mr. RA.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. We're tied 1-1. I'll be honest with you.
It's about our average.
We're tied 1-1 here. It is about the average. We're tied 1-1. I'm going to give you each, there's 2 questions you each have to answer to break this tie.
One of them's an eye color question, isn't it?
No.
Thought so.
There's an accessory here. Well, let me rephrase.
Mm.
There's an accessory in hand here. What is it?
Hmm.
Gun.
Okay.
Axe.
Okay. Okay.
Do I mean a guitar? Do I mean a weapon? Do I mean a body spray?
Wow.
I'll never tell.
Wow, who can know? And follow-up question. There's something odd about the pose. And by odd, I don't mean odd in a real world sense. I just mean odd for these Sonic characters. There's something odd about the pose here. What is it?
Sitting down.
Oh, I was
Too
going to
late.
say that. Jumping. He's in midair, jumping.
Okay.
Still 1-1.
I love this because we are still at a 1-1 tie, which means, my beautiful boys, you will get to co-create the next hog. Here's a picture
Yep.
of Robert the Hedgehog coming your way.
A sword. I should have said sword. And we have no legs.
And
We
it's a
have no
side
legs. It's a
profile.
waist up, side
Kinda
profile,
looks
have
Final
no
Fantasy-ish,
legs.
doesn't he?
Yeah,
It
it's
does
very
look Final Fantasy-ish.
That the scarf is why I changed from. It's not just an accessory. There's a handheld accessory because I would say a scarf is also an accessory.
Yeah, it would
got
go in the
frowned in, I
accessories
guess,
tab
is
in
what
his
I got
inventory. And I got black top.
That's correct.
I did say white glove.
Yeah, but it wasn't sort of like the actual guess, though. You know what I mean?
Very human
Yeah, I was
fingers
just, I
Yeah,
can't
it's
stop
not
looking
very
on
at
Sonic
this
it.
hedgehog.
fingers.
It's human
Can't
proportions.
stop looking at it.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Gentlemen, create together for me our next hog.
Here's what we're going to do, Doge. You and I,
Tell me.
friends for a long time, co-hosts
Yeah.
for a long time, same brain,
Yeah.
basically. You give me the first syllable, I'll
Right.
give you the second immediately after.
Mm.
Great.
Oh man, this is a tough one.
A thin.
Goo. What do we think about Guathan the Hedgehog? Does it exist?
Have I told y'all my...
Did you mean Jonathan the Hedgehog?
Sure. Did I tell y'all about my Scattergories story with Chelsea's family? You've
I
played...
don't think I'm.
You
I
played
can't wait to hear it.
Scattergories, right? Roll the dice.
Yeah, yeah.
All these things have to start with this letter. Something sticky. In my mind, G. Oh my God, goo. How clever. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Hey man, letters S. My whole list was G's. Somehow, I was like, goo. And then just the rest of it. So every time we play or every time someone just has like a brain fart, we're just like, goo, man. Goo. Because I was so proud. I was like, just X through everything.
That's so funny.
It's the first one too. And I was like, goo. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Give me my
Goo.
flowers. And they're like, are you serious? Like, goo is sticky. They're like, right. It doesn't start with an S. Guathan, give it to us, boy.
I'm so confused.
There's no chance.
There's no
There's a-
Guathan, but
There's
I've
no chance
have-
there's a Guathan.
I have found what I would consider to be an appropriate approximation of Guathan.
Goober the Hedgehog.
Could have been Goober.
if
I could have
we're
just gone,
okay.
Goose.
if we are okay with playing a little fast and loose with Gunathan, I do think I have found an appropriate
because
approximation.
the way it is like when I'm playing a game, I don't care if we play fast and loose with the rules. I don't care if it's a little fun, a little different, a little quirky every time.
Sorry, you cut out. So here's what we found on fanfiction.fandom.com. This character. Tell me about Spiritual Jonathan the Hedgehog.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Necklace.
Okay.
Spiritual
earrings.
Jonathan.
Spiritual Jonathan.
Spiritual
Aura.
Jonathan.
Some representation of an aura. Eyes closed. Come on, Doge. You're running out of time.
Yeah. Because you've been... Spiritual Jonathan is a priest, I believe.
Occupation.
A priest?
I love that.
Maybe not of God. He's a priest of some...
Of Hog.
God.
Floating.
Of something. A priest of Hog.
Nope. Floating.
He's glowing. There's yellow. I'm seeing yellow in the ether. Yellow's calling out to me in this
Sure.
image. Robes, perhaps a crystal of some sort. Spiritual
I think we got
Jonathan.
some dark magic. Purple.
Maybe. Oh,
Okay.
I think it's good. I think it's light magic. I think it's good magic. Yellow.
Okay. Sure.
Yellow either means good magic or dehydrated.
Or PP.
Yes, right.
Okay. Their hands are touching. Somehow.
Okay.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, like a prayer, like this.
Could be that. Could
Yoga?
be this. You know?
Oh, it could be
Could be
class
this.
and piety. Yeah.
Could be
Huh.
this.
We'll speed this up. We're currently tied
Oh,
0-0
Oh no.
on Spiritual Jonathan. Here's our tiebreaker question.
Hang on. Big sword.
Okay. Still tied 0-0 on Spiritual
fine.
Jonathan. Our tiebreaker question. I didn't just choose Spiritual Jonathan for the name. What's the reason I chose Spiritual Jonathan?
that's the question.
Mhm.
Why did you choose Spiritual Jonathan?
Mhm.
Not just for the name.
Yeah, I figured instead of let you guys flounder in the dark, I'd clear things up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's an angel.
Okay.
Is there some goo somewhere in this image? Are we bringing in the goo?
I'm going to give it to Doge.
You can have it, Doge.
Only in the loosest sense is there goo, because I think we would all agree that ectoplasm
It's goo.
is goo. And friends, this Spiritual Jonathan is certainly made of the spiritual essence.
Whoa, yeah. Spiritual Jonathan, fully blue like a dead Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a Force Ghost. This is a Force Ghost hedgehog, almost certainly.
Wow. Do you have any kind of lore about spiritual
He's a
Jonathan?
spirit
actually.
himself.
I would love to
never
hear
thought that.
Excuse me.
Father, Son,
He
and
is one of the
Spiritual
guardians
Jonathan.
of heaven.
Sorry.
The Father, the Son, and Spiritual Jonathan. He is one of the guardians of heaven, along with Spiritual Amy, Spiritual Shadow, Spiritual Sonic, Spiritual Silver, Spiritual Knuckles,
Sure, the
and
whole
Spiritual
cast is spiritual.
Sonia. His job is protect Jonathan from harm. When the time comes for Jonathan to go heaven, Jonathan's appearance changes. He is blue all over. His chest fur is blue as well. He is very manly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Wow.
say. Looking,
It was
at
like, hey, I
this.
do want to make the
Personality.
distinction that I do recognize that Sonic tends to be blue all the time, but you need to know that Spiritual Jonathan has blue chest hair. I know that's usually white.
Very blue.
Blue chest hair.
blue chest hair. Yeah,
There is, I would say, some of the most information on any wild hog we've ever had.
wow.
We've got trivia. Jonathan is the only human, to have a spiritual hedgehog form. Okay, I get it. Actual
Okay.
Jonathan is a human who has a spiritual hedgehog form, making him a bit of a character.
I would say.
Jonathan has blue quills, just like Shadow, but blue. So I would say more like just like Sonic, probably.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe just a bit more
Yeah.
like Sonic. Than
And
Shadow.
then
He's just like Tails if Tails was a blue
Yeah.
hedgehog.
can I give you some quotes?
Please.
Yeah. Or is it from the Bible?
Quotes in both fanfic and movie. We've got Yippee-ki-yay.
Mm-hmm. Famous.
Damn it, I am so dead. Where did I end up?
Mm.
I swear to God, this isn't my world. Why do I repeat myself? And take this, sucker.
What if I like
love
to
it.
imagine spiritual Jonathan says all of
Yeah.
that all at
Yeah.
one time, right when he first
I
wakes
would
up in
think so.
heaven.
And he says it every day, which is why do I repeat myself? No, this is
It's got the
this
prologue.
is fantastic. It seems like based on the quotes, this is what is referred to in anime often as an isekai character, someone who's
was
woken
gonna
up
say that
in a
too.
new strange land.
Mhm.
So Doge, we're gonna do a final quick hog because we got to do 3 by law.
Quick hog.
Give me the
Hog
quickest
in there.
hog. Give me the quickest hog.
The fastest hog. A quick hog. Thomas.
Certainly, we have done Thomas.
No chance. We have not done Thomas.
don't think
the
so?
Hedgehog.
I mean, there's going to be 1,000 of them, so we can
Right. So you get to pick.
525,600
I got it.
Thomas.
I got it. I got it instantly.
Yeah, great.
Bro, Thomas Red. Thomas Quick. No, I can't do that. You can't just do like traits.
I think Thomas is an anthropomorphic animal.
That's funny.
Thomas Eyes. Red. Thomas Very Red.
Thomas is blue, I think. I think Thomas is a tracing of Sonic, which is, I know, breaking new ground for these hogs.
Sure.
Action shot.
I wouldn't give you points for tracing of Sonic just by the
We're
way.
running.
Right.
Action shot.
Thomas is standing in the sort of default hedgehog pose, which is the exact pose that Jonathan the Hedgehog is in, just kind of like a 3/4 view of him. Like that Rob Liefeld drawing of Captain America, except like normal proportions.
Right. Long jacket.
Weird feet.
Hat.
Short skirt, long jacket, hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vest.
Earrings.
Fingerless gloves. We got to see him eventually.
Hey, I'll say
Belt.
this. Someone has 1 point, someone has 0. Both of you close your eyes for me.
Okay.
Float, 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 float. We're getting a bird's eye view. We're looking at the forest. We're not looking at the trees. Think differently. Let me get a couple final guesses. Really get up there. Really get up there in the stratosphere.
Not even a hedgehog.
Red bandana. Oh, I need to think even more differently. I said red bandana.
Yeah, that was maybe the least differently you could have possibly thought.
Well, I was gonna say train conductor outfit. Thomas the
Tank
Hedgehog.
engine.
Thomas the Hedgehog drives Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay.
I'm done.
You're done?
Not a hedgehog.
Doge, you done?
It's not a hedgehog.
Sure.
What is it then?
Worse.
With a final score of Carter 1/2 point and Doge 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Let me present to you Thomas the Hedgehog. This is an abomination. I'm 100% certain was made by artificial intelligence.
Ooh, I knew it. I didn't. That's why I didn't say this.
This is
I should have just
a-
said he is a tank engine.
yeah.
this
This
is
crossed
an
my mind
abomination
so many times.
combined together.
I
Sonic
thought it wouldn't happen.
and Thomas the Tank Engine together. It's pretty
can't
horrifying
look.
to look at. The eyes are screaming for help.
This is a big swing that you can't come back from. Like if I had started this off and been like, he's a train, and he wasn't a train, I would never hear the end of it.
Well, that's why I tried to lift
It was
you
all there, man.
up above.
Whenever I was in the astral space and I was descending
Mm-hmm.
onto the image
Yeah.
of Thomas, there was a train. And I
There was a train
thought
from the
he was
beginning.
driving the
Yeah.
train, but he is the train.
Can't miss the train for the Thomas, you know?
I did
You
just
know?
see that is from a generative AI website
Boo.
Ew.
that created that abomination. I didn't realize.
So it's
that when I
not
clicked it.
it's not art.
It's
so
not
much
an
as
OC.
It's just
It's not an
pixels.
OC. Yeah, I don't love that I chose that. Now that I realize that it's not an OC on the thumbnail, I couldn't tell,
That's okay.
and it was
Mm.
too funny to not.
I
do,
appreciate
but,
you being
somebody did
vulnerable.
create that with. It wasn't an OC. I like the heart of the OCs. The soullessness of just like combine these two things isn't as
I
fun.
appreciate that.
Let's go to shout announcements. Welcome to Shout Announcements, the part of the show where we give shout outs and make announcements. I know you loved that sound. Did you love it?
It sounded like a future scooter.
Yeah.
Like if I was writing, it'd be like
Very Jetson.
The Jetsons. Yeah.
yeah.
If you loved that sound, then I know you love this show. And if you love this show, then I know you've rated and reviewed
come on.
us.
Surely
So
you have.
this isn't for you. This is for the person behind you. Just get out of the way of my voice. What are you doing?
Why aren't you doing that?
Come on.
Why haven't you rated and reviewed us?
Imagine
Come on.
over 100 of your friends having a party, having a great time, and it didn't cost anything. Well, how much did it cost to get in there? Nothing. Well, actually, it
Wow.
did. Maybe like 60 seconds. Like, that's it. And I can just go play with them and have fun. Yeah, dude. It's free. Join the
Come on.
party.
Summer
Review.
style?
Right.
Hang
the
with friends? Summer style?
It's
Just like you
the
would do
summer.
since summer's coming up.
Wow. Get in there.
Listen, now is honestly more important than ever. With summer right around the corner, your friends and your family don't know what to do in the summertime. Send them our show. Send them an episode or
might
two
get you
of our
through the whole
show. That's
summer
one of the
back to
things.
back.
It might get you
Wow.
through the whole summer back to back. That's something that wasn't on the list. The best thing to do in the summertime is to share our show with your friends or your family or your enemies.
Wow.
How many days you think our show is?
How many days do you think our show is?
Probably
50?
2 weeks.
Oh, I'm so bad.
You
with
ever,
that.
you ever Google your podcast to figure out how many episodes you've done?
Not recently.
It's got to be more than 2 weeks. And the 20, 30. It's a whole month, I think. I think you can get through about 36 days with our show.
How many?
Surely.
episodes?
Just leave it running. I think you can get through a month. I'll give it a month. I'll give it 30 days. You can get through a full, like not a February. You can get through like a full blown April.
45 days.
You think 45?
He's mathing so hard right now.
I'm stuck on this.
I know,
I'm
he
stuck
can't
on
get
this. I
off.
have to figure this out.
Well, I'm just thinking an average of roughly an hour an episode. So, 10 days is 240 episodes. And we've done, I don't think we've hit, we're somewhere in the 600s probably. Maybe not quite that high.
Oh man, how do I figure this out?
We'll just have to wait.
We'll just have to wait. This will be information that comes. So share this with your friends and family because they got to know
Yeah.
the answer.
We're not in
to
the
our
600s.
math.
Am I insane? We can't be in the 600s.
I don't know how many we have.
Find
dude.
out how
That's
many
the
we
thing.
have.
I don't
One way
know.
to find out is join our Discord.
I don't
Come on
know.
over $5. Join Patreon. That
Wow,
too.
that's true.
Discord. Do it.
That's true. Somebody who's very smart can probably figure this out.
I bet they can figure it out.
How many?
Wow. Thanks, Discord. Also join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
Back to the show.
I don't know. I don't know how many we have.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, yes, I do. 593.
A lot of those are mini Mondays, though, eh?
It still counts. This is episode 594.
Right, but it's
yeah.
a drastically different.
Do an average.
First of all, I don't think it counts. I don't think this is episode 594.
but do like that times
Mini Mondays are a
45.
different thing.
Yeah.
Some longer, some shorter.
It's 26,685 minutes.
Great. That's all I needed to know.
That is 444.75 hours.
Divided by 24. So about 20 days.
18 and a half days. End to end, no sleeps, no potty breaks, 18 and a half days of podcast. About.
That's a lot.
For us.
That's many.
It's a lot of podcast, many days.
That's a lot.
Honestly, less than I would have thought.
We talked about joining the Discord. I also want to give a shout out, not in the shout announcements. I want to give a big thank you to B. Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh,
real
are we
show-
back
it's
in
real
the show now?
We're back in the
It's
show.
real show now.
Oh, okay.
We're back in the show. Phil Hill,
Feel you.
B. Taylor. Thank you guys so much. This back half is a Bob half. It's a back Bob. It's a Bob back.
Bob.
Mm. Bob back.
Box office ball. I've got some fun announcements here. I wanted to do this on the podcast for those of you that are in Discord to kind of give you a heads up because I know you listen. For those of you that aren't, to be able to say, hey, once you come over to Discord, you can play Box Office Ball with us. That's one of the big perks. So what we're doing with Box Office Ball this year is there's going to be more than one season. We've done that in the past. I won't talk too much about the past, but running from February through April for 3 months, we will have Box Office Ball. What happens at the beginning of each month is people are sent a box office ballot. What's on the ballot? Let me tell you. What you have to do in Box Office Ball is you will be given 5 movies, not at completely random. We don't want to just do a bunch of indie stuff. It has to be something that can make the theaters because we have to be able to quantify it via Box Office Mojo, the amount there. But you have to be able to rank those 5 movies as to how well you think they will do domestically for that month. Does that make sense? So it's like a grid on that ballot. You can only select one per row. So it's like first place. Like I think, movies that we'll have. I'll give you the movies that we're going to have for February. We're going to have Dog Man, which actually releases at the end of January, right? This is a cartoon animated movie. Dog Man will be out there. We'll have Brave New World, Captain America. We'll have The Monkey, which looks scary and funny. This was the guy who did Long Legs, but we're kind of lean in a little bit more to some of the funniness. We'll do Love Hurts, which is a fun movie. If you want to get into Discord, you can hear more about that, very likely from Phil Hill. And then finally, we'll do, let me look at it. Would have been nice to have this pulled up, eh?
We didn't know we were recording, so it's a surprise.
This is a total surprise. Oh my God, we're recording now. I wanted to do Last Breath, but it's not going to do well, we think, perhaps. It's a pretty terrifying one. I'm absolutely blowing this. Paddington in Peru, of course. The bear. We've got the brave, we got the bear.
The bear.
We got the monkey. We got all sorts of things. So you'll have these 5 movies and you have to rank them 1 to 5. If you get them all correct, awesome. That's 5 points for that month. If you get none of them, you get 0 points from that. But that's okay because you can get 10 points total per month. So also,
how do I get them correct? What is the criteria for getting the movies
correct? They have to be exactly like for their ranking amongst the 5 of them. You have to get for everyone that you get correct. Meaning, like, if I thought Brave New World was going to make the most monies in February, and it does, that's a point. Right?
Okay.
So if you get 1 wrong, you have to get 2 wrong? There's no way to get 4 right?
Correct. Yeah. The point was to have a bunch of different variables so that we don't have too many ties.
Gotcha.
Good. I love it.
And then for each individual movie on this ballot, again, this ballot is 2 questions. Question 1, hey, rank these. Which of these 5 do you think will make the most, second most, third most, fourth most, fifth most? Then we go to the next question, which is, which of these scores will be higher? Now we're using Flixster. We're introducing Flixster into Box Office Ball. The critic score or the audience score. You're doing that per movie. Make sense? So do you think Paddington and Peru, which is probably going to be pretty difficult because they tend to both rank really high, who's going to love it more, according to Flixster? Audiences or critics? There's another possible 5 points there, right? But on this side of things, you can get 4 right. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a possible of 10-0 per month, meaning with 3 months, your record will be some kind of division of 30 points. Will you go 15-15, 8-22, 29-1? So that's how things are ranked there. It's not a matchup based thing. It's you're in the overall pool of how well you do. If we have a tie,
Competing with your own knowledge.
If you have a 2 people that are 26-4 up at the top, that's fine. We've built in a tiebreaker, and it's Price is Right rules because you will have to guess the designated movie for that month to the cent as close as you can, how much money it will make domestically for February.
Gotcha.
Our movie for this month, for February coming up for Box Office Ball this year, will be Brave New World, Captain America. That's tough. It's really hard to know what the MCU is going to do regardless, and you don't want to go over, so then what do? How conservative will you be? And how much will it make in 1 month? For those of you that are going to play Box Office Ball, quick tips. there's archives. The great thing about Box Office Mojo is you can go back and look at this with all the movies that have, like this is the second installment in that franchise, like Paddington. I think of the Paddington movies. Go back and see how well it did with Flickster. Is it consistent? Is it not? The fun thing about this is movies are pretty unpredictable. And so we're excited for that. There's going to be 4 seasons of Box Office Ball every year. There is an off season. So we will have spring, summer, fall will all be the same. It'll be 3 months, right? Spring, summer, fall. And then there will be a November, December. It's just a 2-month winter season. Whereas we normally would have 30 possible points, you'll have 24 there, which means that you'll have 6 movies per month for November and December.
Great.
So that we can have the off season in January. But for those of you that might have won one of these other seasons, it might not be an off season for you because there will be a Champions League. For every winner of the 3-month increments, you get an automatic entry into the Champions League.
I love this.
Awesome.
And it's pretty simple. For those of you, we wanted to be able to make this something that is accessible, and it doesn't have to be, you have to know individual actors or things like that. Yeah, it's one of the most fun things about fantasy football or just fantasy sports in general is somebody's going to win that doesn't really know what they're doing. And I'm down for that. Come in here, come play. There will be awards. We will have trophies for every season winner. I found some that are really fun. It'll have your name on it. It'll say Box Office Ball Champ, and it'll give you the specific season. We're calling these the Bobbies, the Bobby Award. So you can win a Bobby for every season that you win, and then we'll have something special for our Champions League champion. But that's Box Office Ball. It's on the way. It's going to happen soon. If you can jump into Discord, so this episode is releasing on the 21st. At the end of this week, the ballots will go live into Discord. So for those of you that want to do that and get in Box Office Ball, literally all you have to do is submit that ballot. You'll give us an email address, all that stuff. It just gets sent to a Google spreadsheet to where we'll have B. Taylor out there being the man in the chair, processing all of that. It's semi-set and forget, but we're also going to have opportunities with Phil Hill. He's going to essentially be, for those of you that know sports well, our Adam Schefter, our SW Tebow,
the chef.
You know, the chef. We're gonna get him in here like we've got with these guys with SW Tebow that you hear from every now and then to give us updates from week to week on how well people are doing, who are his projections of who's going to win that season. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think some of the most fun seasons are going to be the ones where there's no good movies coming out. And you have to just basically put on a blindfold and be like, I think this will make the most. But yeah, Box Office Ball.
That'll ever
happen. So come be a part of that.
When do I get to activate my special power up for being a host where I automatically win? Is that the second or the third month?
Right there at the end.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's great. I just want to make sure nobody except the 3 of us ever wins or has success.
So take some time. For those of you that aren't in the Discord, you've got a couple decisions. 1, do you want to join the Discord? Excellent. 2,
you do.
Yes.
You
want to do that. Get your research started because there is going to be some strategy here. Like if you really want to be strategic, go for it. If you feel like you got a shot, join us. You don't have to play every season. Maybe you get a champions. Maybe you get a win in the spring and you're like, I'm locked in for the Champions League. I'm just going to coast. Or maybe you're ruthless and you want to win every season so that you have no contender in the Champions League and it's just you alone. We just give it to you. The likelihood of that, very slim. Not happening. I don't think that's happening. But come in there, play with us. I think we're going to have a lot of competitors for this season.
Incredible.
Box Office Ball.
Great work, everyone involved. Great work.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
I love it. Very exciting. Does feel accessible. There was a while there where Box Office Ball was starting to feel like, oh, I'm not good at Excel or math, so I don't think this is going to be
can't do this. Too many variables.
And I think it's feeling good now, so I'm excited about that.
Very simple.
We do have one more thing to talk about, don't we?
We must.
Jump off if you haven't caught up on the Traitors.
On the Traitors.
Can I start with, we've talked about this before, AC, Mr. Alan Cumming.
What?
Wow.
10 good
out
host
of 10.
What a gift from spiritual Jonathan.
I cannot wait. Chelsea said this, my wife. Wow. I cannot wait until there is let's say we're in season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's say season 21. One of the galas or one of the balls is Alan Cummings themed, right? Can we just do like a,
Sure, yeah,
for real.
why not?
Yeah.
oh my goodness gracious. He is
The outfits are outrageous.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Very cool, very fun, very mysterious. The perfect host. Can't imagine this show happening with anyone
Yeah.
else.
I feel like the last time we talked about Traitors, we were like, it's still early, so we're in the thick of what are going to be the moments that define this show as a whole.
Certainly.
I do think we had one of those in episode 4.
Okay.
I do
Talk to
think
Ooh, yeah.
because it's such a special look at the kind of individual personalities these two were and are, like in their current games, what they've done in
The
the past.
dueling Roberts.
Are
The Bob
are the
off.
Bob off, dude. For them to go against each other in this way. And then I also just think it's something that we haven't seen on Traitors. And again, that's not hard in the 3rd season to do new things. We're always throwing stuff against the wall. I don't mind the mini games. I hope it doesn't get as ridiculous as it did near the end of season 2 when it was like, people don't really have a chance here. Like, what are we doing? There's too many shields, all that
Right.
kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
It was a super Bob episode, but the Rob
It really
deciding
was.
after our challenge, which by the way, in the challenge, we also have a wonderful moment with Bob H. In that he
Yeah.
is coming to the grips of, which is, I'm mid-30s, not quite there yet as to where Bob H is, but to be like, hey, I'm actually not capable of things that I used to be. And the kind of like sorrow that can come from that, he's known as being this athletic, he's on The Biggest Loser. He's, kind of at the beginnings of home fitness. He's up there with Jillian Michaels and Bowflex and all that kinds of stuff. Heart attack 7 years ago.
Bob Flex.
Heart attack 7 years ago, and not able to do what he thought he'd be able to do, and just being really vulnerable and sharing that was huge.
No, I thought that was great.
So it was Bob from the start. But then Bob the Drag Queen choose to say,
Oof.
Alan is a
So
pot
this is my
stirrer,
first
dude.
thought. This is my first thought here. Look, it was unfortunate that it had to come to this, but Bob shot first. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Boston Rob had no choice. And the moment we watched with some friends, and the moment that Bob the Drag Queen said, I think one of the new guys is a traitor, I was like, well, Bob's gone. Rob has
Bob's
to do
gone.
it.
It's
Rob
like
has to do
watching
it.
Jaws and there's blood in the water.
The music is
Oh,
starting.
it's like it's over.
Yep.
Rob has to do it. Now, here's the other thing I'll say. Great job. So entertaining. Bit of an overplay by Boston Rob, I think.
I agree. He was so confident at the table. It makes me very nervous. I don't know how he rebuilds.
Now, I'll say
game after
this.
I think there is
I've
one
said
way to
that
do it.
sentence about Boston Rob about a dozen times. I don't know
Yes.
how he comes back from this. And then he just kind
That's
of
true.
does. So
That's true.
we know Wes is on his tail. We know other people are kind of sniffing him out. So it's definitely possible. And I do think it was an overplay. And I think if it was anybody but Boston Rob, I'd say by next week. But he might. I don't think he wins now. I think there's no way he wins
No.
now.
Yeah, there is a thing about Boston Rob, though, that is just so fun. And it's got to be why he's been on the short list probably since season 1 to be on this show.
Yeah.
Is that he has such a radar for alphas. He's got a radar for people that are
100%.
coming for him. And man, he always feels like he's a couple steps ahead of you. And
It's
so
really
yeah.
impressive.
it's a small house, I think Wes needs to be careful because, but then how does Rob
Certainly.
cover it? I don't know,
I don't
man.
know.
It's brilliant.
I think you put it on Dylan Efron. I think that's his only play. Is that
I think so,
he
too.
pins the whole thing on Dylan
Because he says that,
Dylan was
doesn't he?
just.
Dylan immediately was like, I've thought it was Bob the Drag Queen from the beginning.
If I'm Rob, I just go, look, Dylan was just not speaking up right, and I wanted to try and help him because I agreed. That's the only play I think Rob has
Yeah.
right now. I do think the other
Yeah.
traders are going to be mad at him, and I do want to say, Bob the Drag Queen went out like a champion.
Was not
Absolutely.
surprised.
What a great
Was not
exit.
surprised.
The exit interview where Bob is just like, game recognizes game. Rob had to do it. I would have done the same to him. That was excellent.
not wrong.
I thought that was like,
First thing he said was,
Dude,
he
no.
said Boston Rob was afraid of me. And you're like, you're right, dude.
yes, for sure.
Yeah. That's why he eliminated
For
you.
sure. No, I think Bob the Drag Queen, could have gone so much longer in this game. It was an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object here.
It's that you cannot, I feel like Bob the Drag Queen cannot say, I think the traitor is one of the new guys, or I think one of the new guys is a traitor.
Yeah, you had to
unless
know.
Bob the Drag Queen is certain that the votes are there.
Yeah.
That's one of those, you come with the king, you best not
I don't
miss,
think
where it's
Bob
you
was
cannot say
intending
that.
to target Rob right then and there necessarily, but I do think if the thought was never had of this puts a target on Boston Rob and he knows I'm doing it, then that was a misstep by Bob.
Sloppy.
And
yeah.
if the intention was to put the target a little bit on Rob, or if the intention wasn't to put the target on Rob,
Yeah.
then Bob should have thought before he spoke.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
I think a best case scenario for traitors is that you know all of the cast. I think that makes things really fun to be like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
wait till, Wes does this. But those of the 3 new guys, right, which were our pinnacle of each of these shows, Boston
Yeah.
Rob is the only one I know. So I am kind of having fun getting to see a little bit of what y'all have teased in terms of like,
Sure, yeah.
Wes is pretty intuitive.
Like Wes and Derek.
But what I'm getting at is like, I loved Derek finally bringing up his detective work. I'm just been hungry for him to be like, sometimes in when you're asking people these questions, when they're foul, when they're lying, it's easier to say that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there it is. It feels like he's really careful
Yeah.
to not just flex that because he doesn't want to be
Yeah.
a target, but he's
Right.
also great. Let's pour one out for Jeremy. So sad he's gone. I really
know,
like him,
dude.
dude.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
I love Jeremy.
It's just been Housewives and Survivor players and Bob that are
Yeah.
out of this show, which is just crazy.
And Wells.
And Wells, I forget about
Wells too.
Real Housewives of Bachelor in
Real
Paradise.
Housewives of Bachelor in Paradise.
Real Housewives of Survivor in Paradise. The drag queen.
Wells from Real Bartenders of Bachelor in Paradise.
If I'm Boston Rob and I catch wind of Wes saying like, well, who's going to know? Who's going to be 100% sure? A traitor would be 100% sure. Then, like we kind of have said already, I would say Rob is like, I agree. And I was speaking up for the person that was the first one to be vocal about being 100% sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dylan came to me right when I got in the house and was like, I know
'Cause
Bob's a traitor. I need help getting
Dylan
him
is
out.
also feeding him the narrative. Dylan is telling everybody off of this high of getting Bob out. He's like, I just wish I was a better speaker. I just can't do those
Yep.
kind of things. I'm so glad Rob
So
did that
I did
for
it for
me.
him.
Phew. Get him.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if I'm
you have
Rob,
to.
I'm considering going just as hard, maybe not this coming roundtable, but the next one, for somebody that I know is not a traitor. So that hopefully it's like, sorry guys, I really thought that was so just to get a little
Sniffers off.
suspicion.
Yeah.
Like go
Yeah.
just as hard at some rando who's not a traitor. And then when they get them out, be like, sorry guys, I really thought I had that one.
Yeah.
Man, it is so delicate. Like
It really
I
is.
feel like he is in such a hair trigger of a situation
Look,
right now.
Last season with Dan, I made the mistake of thinking that somebody's skill in one game carried over to another, and Dan was so bad at the traitors.
Yeah.
He will admit that as
Dan-
well,
Dan lost the whole season for the traitors.
for sure. But Rob, this is not that scenario. I don't think that this is as much of a weird over underplay as Dan did. I just think that he stretched himself a little thin to make sure he got a threat out. And I don't think getting the threat out was a bad idea. I do hope that his Robness can carry over here because it's not that I necessarily want to see Rob win. I would love that, but I just don't want to see him go out without doing some more impressive stuff.
Yeah.
I think the show is more interesting when the traitors are winning.
I think it's
So
interesting when it's pretty close. I think when it stays pretty neck and neck, and there's some sniffy faithful, but
Sure.
there's some elusive traitors. Now, Carolyn, there's not an ounce of suspicion on that woman.
Carolyn is my winner pick for the season.
It
honestly.
seems pretty
I
likely.
think she could do it. And good for her.
because I think that, I think Carolyn is like such a good choice to be a traitor.
Incredible choice to
especially
be a traitor.
watching Carolyn's Survivor season. Carolyn was sort of ostracized on her season for being like, she's kind of goofy, kind of got like a little bit of a more weird personality.
Right.
And so that is so working to her favor here. She doesn't seem to be having the most fun experience in the
She
Trader's
would
She
seem
House.
to be having
never
the most
seems
fun
like
in
she's
Survivor
having a
either,
great
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope a big prize at the end will help her feel better about this.
Sure.
Give me a top faithful right now, not to win, but who you're just having fun watching. Is there?
I really am having a lot of fun with Dylan Efron.
Yeah.
I am
Number
too.
one,
Yep.
if you close your eyes, he sounds just like Zach. But
Oh, I
number
haven't done that
two, I don't think he looks very much like Zach, but the dude has Zach Efron's voice exactly. But also, he really does have good instincts.
Yeah.
Other than Rob,
Yeah.
he's blindly
My brother's
trusting
an
Rob
actor.
because of
no, not a good
reputation.
one. Bob, freaking dude, that's a freaking untucked
Yeah.
on him.
Did you see that Bob?
Ugh.
Did you see that Bob was like, I don't actually think that. I think
Yes,
Zac
yes,
Efron's great."
100%, 100%. Yeah, I love Gabby.
Certainly,
Yeah.
She's
certainly.
so funny.
She is confidently incorrect about everything. and
Yes.
it makes me laugh.
Every single thing.
Yes, she's really funny.
I liked seeing a little fire in Dolores.
I was going to say this too. This is what I talked about, and I'm seeing it a little bit more. But her like saying in hushed tones to Efron of like, "You don't go for the queen. Don't go for the queen yet, because he's going to come for you," kind of thing. You know, she's thinking about
Yep.
it. She's got some strategy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
But yeah, I hope we can
I
keep
like
her
to see
around.
that. I think Kate a couple seasons ago proved that once somebody from a Bravo show understands the rules of the game, they can be very
Yeah.
dangerous and they can use
Yeah.
their influence very well.
Dude, Jordan, with you starting Housewives, isn't it such
yes, I have started Housewives.
isn't it such a housewife flavor for like when Robin just brought an awkward conversation to the table and asked everybody to participate? Like that's a housewives thing. He's like, yeah, let's talk about that right now. Like, let's just all talk about it. Because she's
For
like
sure.
not afraid of the conflict. That's why they're good. You got to have some housewives.
No, I think it's great. Well, that about wraps it up.
Yep.
Let's in today's episode, let's each give our name for once, and then tell me what faithful you would model your game after right now. Not who you'd like to be. This isn't aspirational. I'm saying maybe not model. Which faithful you would be most similar to, you think, in this game right now? If you're dropped into it. For 2 chunks and a hunk, I'm Jordan, and I think my game would be most similar, probably as a faithful, to I think probably like Nikki. I think that I would find myself a little crew and then just feel like I was on the back foot. I feel like I would have such a hard time ever feeling, especially at the beginning, like I was making any real progress at all as a faithful.
Yep.
And Nikki feels like she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's got a crew that she really likes, but none of that is really helping her at all. And I think that would be my inevitable, like, how do I make ground?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm Doge. Summer's coming up, and I think that I really appreciate Derek's game this season of just like, let me.
I think I'd be most
Observe.
similar to one of the best players in reality TV
I think
history.
I'd probably be like the guy who's really good at all the games he
Yeah.
plays. No, I appreciate Derek's game of like, let me build a case, let me observe, let me get like a deck basically built of evidence, of facts, of hunches. Let me talk with a small number of people about this and not really be a loud presence at the table.
I'm Carter, and I'd want to be Derek. He's who came up for me. Like,
Oh yeah, I think I'd be one
Well,
of the best players of the game,
especially in the like, use my career to be like, well, and this is what I would actually know about this, so you should believe me, kind of thing, and then speak up when I
Sure.
need to.
yeah.
But I would legitimately, very clearly, actually be Bob H. And I would be incredibly personable, very wrong with every guess,
Sure.
very emotional.
Bob is also confidently incorrect about a lot of things. That's a great point.
Every single time. Yep.
So that I think that's what I would be. Like the freaking slip. I would do stuff like that, but I'm so clumsy to be like, oh, happy faithful hunting. Oh shit. I meant happy.
Yeah.
You know, like
meant
that is
traitor.
so.
Yep.
Oof. You gotta love it.
That's funny.
I think if I ever actually won, I'm way too high on myself on like competitive reality shows. If I ever actually won one of them, 40% of it would be an accident.
I think they all
Yeah.
are, dude. I think even
That's
the best
true. That's
players
the-
would tell you
that's the
that
point.
luck plays a
That's the point,
huge role
isn't it?
in these
There's
games.
an element of chance. Yeah.
Who else was cast? Who did you end up getting close to? Who did you sit in the car with on the way to the
Yeah.
challenge? Like all of it can play roles in these games. But all right, well, night, chunkies. That's how
Good night.
That's how we end these.
Night,
Good night,
junkies.
Good night. I love you.